Imagining everything being destroyed right at its peak is profoundly difficult and heartbreaking. Please help rebuild my friend's offshore fish cage farm after a devastating storm. With its first step, HelpNoBorders stands beside someone who has lost everything. This campaign is the first official HelpNoBorders project focused on post-crisis recovery. My friend's farm was established about 2 years ago with the goal of raising fish in the sea within their natural environment to reduce production costs while providing healthy and organic food to the community. However, in early July 2025, just as the project was gradually reaching stability and success, it was struck by an intense and unimaginable storm. As a result, the product of a lifetime of savings and effort was destroyed in the sea, and by the following morning, no trace remained of the farm that represented his hopes and dreams. All of the cages were completely shattered and lost. In the following section, parts of the construction, equipment, and transportation processes of several cages in late 2022 will be briefly shown, allowing you to become familiar with the work completed for this farm and to clearly understand the magnitude of the damages incurred. At the end of the video, the methods for submitting donations will be explained. Approximately 3 years ago, in 2022, the preliminary operations of this project, including the construction of cages and equipment, began by renting part of a port dock area and the construction of cages with different dimensions using various materials and structures began. For many days, he worked eagerly and with great enthusiasm until late hours building the equipment, welding polyethylene pipes to control the buoyancy of the cages, construction of cages capable of submerging, resting on the seabed, and resurfacing using high-pressure polyethylene pipes, installation of fish retaining nets, and I remember that due to financial limitations, he personally built all the cages, floats, anchors, and other equipment, working tirelessly from morning to night over many days. Construction of metal and concrete anchors to secure and stabilize the cages at sea. Construction of marker buoys to identify the cage area at sea and ensure maritime safety. Construction of a floating vessel equipped with an overhead crane for transporting anchors and marine equipment with a load capacity of approximately 2,000 kilograms, launching the constructed floating vessel into the sea. Loading concrete anchors onto the floating vessel for transport to the cage installation site at sea. Transporting the floating vessel and concrete anchors to the installation site of the cages to another location about 60 kilometers away from the construction site. The float carrying the concrete anchors got stuck in the beach sands due to strong winds and rough sea conditions during transportation. For personal reasons, my friend does not wish to disclose his identity or the exact location of his farm at this time. Therefore, these details have been pixelated the video. the moment of deploying the concrete anchors into the sea from the floating vessel. Launching the cages into the water for transport to their final installation site at sea. Transporting metal anchors to the cage installation site at sea. Transporting part of the cages to their installation site at sea, approximately 60 kilometers from the construction port with the assistance of a tugboat. The entire process from construction to the start of operations took about 1 year. The cage installation site is located approximately 6 kilometers offshore. The moment the cages are submerged and lowered to the seabed by filling the polyethylene flotation pipes with water. The support site and workers' accommodation area suffered severe damage due to the intense storm, rendering the site unusable. Several cages had been constructed, and based on the available photos, I tried to depict, as much as possible, the scale of the work and the efforts expended on this project by showing a glimpse of the construction operations. Unfortunately, all the cages and much of the equipment were destroyed or disappeared at sea due to the severe storm, making them inaccessible. There are moments in life that break a person in ways words cannot fully describe. After years of effort and sacrifice to support different members of society, he now finds himself in a position where he is the one in need of help. The estimated amount of financial assistance required for reconstruction is approximately $200,000. Donations can be made using cryptocurrencies, even in amounts as small as $1. To send your donations, please scan the corresponding QR code in your wallet according to the type of cryptocurrency, or copy the wallet address from the links available on the HelpNoBorders platform's social media networks or the website below.